Alright. Our next dungeon is located in the Marrow Keep. So run down to the fighting pit, and when you get to the bottom of the stairs, hang a left, and you'll find this corner of the wall with a marking on it. Go ahead and give that a whack. Head on down, and you'll see a pillar in the center with 4 chains. So go ahead, break all those chains. I missed the first one. Don't know what happened with that. But go ahead and break all the chains. And then you will commune with chaos. This is going to go ahead and transport you into the dungeon. This is a secret dungeon. A lot of people just found this. I wanted to make a guide on it. So this is the Desolate Keep. So when you initially get down here, you're going to see a snake guy. You're going to see one of these knights with a spear. Go ahead and take this guy with the spear out. Now I am going to preface this by saying that there are sections in this dungeon where you are not going to want to sit there and fight everything that's in the dungeon. It just doesn't make sense. There's a lot of really difficult enemies down in this dungeon. I would say if you're less than level 10, I wouldn't even recommend this dungeon, because it's going to be really difficult for you to get through. As you can see, I picked up my gloom. I probably naturally played this dungeon like 15 times before I got through it. So go ahead and take out the rest of these guys. Be careful not to hit those green barrels. They are like green flaming barrels that will explode and light you on fire. So go ahead, take out these archers. There's nothing over there on the left-hand side. When you spin back around, you're actually going to hit the right side, and there is a switch over here. I will show this again later, since this is kind of a 2-part dungeon where you have to go 2 separate ways to get both of the key items that are down here. So run up here. We've got another knight with a spear. Go ahead and take him out however you see fit. These guys aren't too bad. They are not the difficult enemy per se down here. And it's not like any enemy is difficult one-on-one, but when there's groups of them, that's when it becomes difficult. So go ahead and grab all the loot that's around here. It's just a bunch of those. There's burnt effigies as well as some moonshine down here. So go ahead and grab that stuff, and open the chest was where I was going with that. There's 500 gold in there, and then you can head back down the stairs and came the direction that we came from this area. So you're gonna head over off to the left. You'll see in front of you there is stairs. That is what that lever opens. I'll go ahead and show it now. If you drop down here, you're going to, I don't think you'll miss it, but having to backtrack and go through everything is pretty crazy. So we're going to run over here. There's another knight with the spear ahead of us. In this area, I recommend you're gonna see me fight and clear this area. But as from a recommendation standpoint, if you're really struggling to get through this, because this is a difficult fight. That guy just came out of nowhere, came up behind me, tried to get me. But those guys there, the front one that's attacking, when you hit them, you do not interrupt their attacks. So if they're in a 4-hit combo, they are going to keep swinging, and they're going to keep swinging, and they do pretty good damage. And it takes anywhere from 5 to 7 light hits to take those guys down. So kind of my strategy here is to lure them one by one, because there's 2 foot soldiers, then there's one of these like armored beast guys who's gonna come and fight you, and then there's 2 like I don't even really know what to call them. They have like crossbows for heads and no arms. And those are the guys in the back that you see that are shooting projectiles at us. So there's one more standard archer, and then there's the 2 crossbow head guys. Now when you come into this dungeon all the way, that gate is going to close behind you and you are locked inside. Now what I'm doing right now is running around to see if there's a way to get up to that upper deck, because after you kill these 2 enemies, I think 6 of those armored guys drop down. And yeah, they were kicking my butt, for lack of a better term. They were just giving me the business. So go ahead and finish off this guy. I just kept running straight at him like an idiot, so didn't really help my case there. But go ahead and finish him off, and then you can open the chest. So go ahead and open that up, and you will get the Tooth of Nochte. And as you see now, there's multiple enemies that have dropped down behind me. The easiest way, and I actually found this by accident, to fight these guys is to lure them in front of those green barrels and shoot them. It takes out a massive chunk of their health and also lights them on fire. Makes them significantly easier to deal with as far as just trying to take them down. And you could just run away from them all, which is more often than not what I would recommend. Just because, yeah, you see them all right there. When there's 4 or 5 of those guys all swiping at you at the same time, it's not a pretty sight. So we're going to finish taking these guys down, and then we will move into the next portion of the dungeon, which honestly doesn't really get much easier. There's less enemies, but it's not really rewarding feeling trying to kill all the enemies. And I'll say it again, I know I said it a couple times, you're really better off running through, killing a few enemies if you can, and just running through. And rewatching this footage, I didn't realize that that gate did open back up, so you could run back through if you like to, but more often than not, you're probably not going to have the resources for the second path of the dungeon. So we're going to loop around the back here. There's another crossbow head guy. Run up to him and poopy all over him. He unluckily shot a crossbow bolt at me right as I hit him, and it happened to fall on the ground, and he was just electrocuting himself. So after he goes down, you're going to go into like this little swampy area. So at this point in the game, you're probably familiar with the little poison guys that will explode. These guys are just like that, except they emit a cloud of, I'm going to call it rot. I made sure not to get hit by it. But if you've played Elden Ring, you'll understand what rot is. Then there's a snake guy over here. Go ahead and take him down. I end up fighting him too. They make it so you almost have to take enemies down instead of running through, especially when you're lower health. But these snake guys, they're not too difficult. Just make sure you're hitting your parries on there. And I'm playing much more conservative than I normally would, just because I only have 1 more health consumable. So over there is one of those like giant praying mantis guys. There's another snake off to the right. He managed to hit me through the rocks even though he's below me, so that was kind of frustrating. And you don't have to fight this guy. I recommend almost not fighting this guy unless you're really trying to farm up some gloom, which in that case, there is a much easier way to do that, and I'll explain that once we do the second part of the dungeon. So let's finish this guy off. He's almost done. As you can see, I'm playing ultra passive, waiting for my parry opportunities, just because I mean, I'm 2 hits plus my shell from, you know, being knocked out of my shell. There's a bunch of welt caps down here. Go ahead and pick those up if you'd like. I think there's somewhere around 10 or so that's down here. And then you'll head over to the other side, where there is 2 more of those exploding guys, as well as another snake. And honestly, you can just run down here, get those, and leave. That's what I would recommend yet again. I know I've said that a couple of times, but this is just one of those dungeons where it's almost better if you can just run through it, as opposed to trying to clear it out and fight everything, because all the enemies here... Now, if you're a higher level, I'm sure you would have a much easier time with this, but I think I was level 11 or 12 when I came in here, and it shows. Up above is one of those giant guys that throws rocks. He's not active right now, and in my head I was kind of thinking, well, there's got to be a way out and around to get up there and fight him. Well, he's gonna throw rocks. I shoot him once, and then I finally make the conscious decision to just run by him, which I wish I would have made that decision earlier, but that was one of the reasons why I wanted to get this guide up as quickly as possible. That way you can see where you need to go, what you need to do. That way you can save yourself a lot of headache. So after you get past him, you're going to run into this room here. It's 2 prison cells, 1 on each side. Oh, I freaked out. That's what happened. I freaked out, and I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to try to just run it. So there's 2 heavy knights with spears on this side. There is a crossbow head. There's 2 smaller guys. There's 2 more knights with spears. So your best bet is to just run to the end. Go ahead and open this chest. You do get iframes when you open chests. So you're going to get the Blackmarrow Key, and this is actually the exit to the dungeon. So for the second portion, it's just easiest to show. I'm just going to start right back from the beginning, and then we're really just going to run through this. So I totally forgot about the lever that had dropped the stairs down. And I was kind of confused, like wondering, like, what the heck? So I'm going to run back over here, over to the right-hand side, and we're just avoiding all the enemies. We are just running through to grab this lever. Go ahead and flip that. Run back over to that pool area and run up the stairs and go ahead and drop down into that central courtyard. Now once you're down there, you'll see some gallows over on the right-hand side. Go ahead and hop up there, grab all the loot that's over there, and keep an eye out. There'll be a little poison exploding guy that wants to come up behind you and try to catch you off guard. So go ahead and take him down, and then you're going to head into the water, into the center. You'll see a large beast. Now this fight is not difficult. His attacks are really easy to parry and read. So basically, if you're just hitting your parries and, you know, fighting smart, he's not difficult. He is bulky. He does take quite a bit of damage at this level to take down, but he's not overly difficult. Now, from what I've seen and what I tested, he will respawn indefinitely down here in the dungeon. He drops a very key item that can be used later in the game that you can equip on to one of your Tarstone slots, where you will hit an enemy and you have an increased chance to actually spawn one of these guys in to help you. So if you want to farm those, go ahead. He also gives a pretty chunky amount of gloom. I think it's somewhere around 11 to 1300. I can't remember the exact number. But if you want to come down here and just run right through that and farm this guy multiple times, I don't think that's a terrible idea, especially as you get stronger and he will become much easier. So he's got one shot left. I was over here just basically trying not to blow it at that point. So you'll get a Grisha Remnant, and those are collectibles. You are not collectibles, but you do want to collect those. Those are valuable. So go ahead and head out of the pit, and then you're going to go over to the right-hand side where this arch is. Head down the stairs. Now, when you're heading down the stairs, you're going to see a couple of Iron Maidens. I don't recommend opening those, as enemies are going to fall out of them and you're going to have more people to fight. Now when you're heading up the stairs, you're going to hear some crazy noise behind you. It actually scared me in real time. So you're going to turn around. There's going to be some long neck floppy worm guy. Go ahead and beat the crap out of him. He's not difficult to fight either. So just hit your parries. Go ahead and stab him in the neck, and yeah, just kick his butt. I wish all the enemies down here were as easy as he is. So when you're heading up the stairs here, keep in mind that this is going to interconnect to a different part of the dungeon. So that's going to open up, and there is the giant praying mantis guy. So if you go this way, you're going to have to basically run through. So it takes you on the other side of where the three snakes were, and then you can just run through all these guys. They're all fighting in this particular instance, but the best thing you can do is just run by them all. You've already got that chest, and you can bounce out of the dungeon. And there's another one in the books.